So today we are going to be going over solving multi-step equations and inequalities. Essential question: how are equations and inequalities used to describe and solve multi-step problems? Vocab is null or empty set, and identity. Okay, this one, this is where for me it starts getting complicated on how to teach it because there's so many different ways you can do it. That some of you guys might solve it differently than what I do, because, excuse me, for example, on the more two-step equations, some of you guys choose to distribute and then subtract and then divide. Some of us decide to divide if possible and then subtract. Either way is good. Okay? So to do the vocab, we do need to solve a problem first so I can help you figure out what they are. But the multi-step that we have, for example, that's a nice long equation, right? You know how I just said some of us may choose to use distributive property and some of us chooses to divide, correct? Looking at this one, which one do you think is probably the best way to go? Distribute or divide? Divide. Why divide? What would you divide by? It's going to be the distribute. The reason being is because if we divide by 20, this ends up as a fraction and kind of gets confusing. If we divide by 15, same thing over here. So let's go ahead and we're going to distribute. So we draw the river. What is 20 times x? 20x. Plus, what is 20 times 2.5? What's 20 times 2? 2. What's 20 times 2? 40. Oh, 40. What is half of 20? 10. So what is 20 times 2.5? 50. Okay, what's 15 times 2x? 15 times 1. Now doesn't this look like a problem that we solved before? Have we already solved how to solve equations with variables on both sides? What do? Where's your variable at?
Both sides.
Both sides. What side do you want it on?
Left.
If you want it on the left, subtract the one off the right. Do it to both sides. What is 20x minus 30x? You don't have to put that plus 15. I wasn't thinking. Now where's your variable? On the left. What operations do you see? Addition and multiplication. Which one should we look at first? Addition. What's the inverse of addition? Subtraction. What do we subtract? So now we have negative 10x. What is 15 minus 50? Negative 35. Now what? Divide.
Negative 10.
Divide by a negative 10. So x is equal to what? Positive 3.5. Okay? Is that very difficult? It might be. It might be a little confusing because that has a lot of steps, doesn't it? I can tell you right now, if you are asked to solve this problem in your homework, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 points just for that. But the instructions also say to check the solution, which means you have 5 points just for this. You get 1 for distributing, you get 1 for subtracting 30x, you get 1 for subtracting 50, and you get 1 for dividing by -10. Then you get 1 for a check. Okay? You gotta start doing your checks. If the instructions say check, you get a point for it. Okay, let's try another one. Student page. If I give you this problem, what would you guess is the first thing you have to do? Distribute what? Okay, what's the first thing I always ask you to do? Draw the river. Now what? Where's the variable? It's on both sides, right? So we want to move one. But can we? No, not with these parentheses. So Alexis over here has been saying distribute. He is correct. I want you guys to distribute. Is there anything to distribute on the left-hand side? No. Keep it the same. Is there anything to distribute on the right-hand side?
Yes.
What? So what is 6 times 3m? Plus, what's 6 times 3? Okay, Omen, why? Have a seat because you're already behind. Now what? You want the variable just on one side. What side do you want it on? So which one do we get rid of?
Right.
How? Subtract what? 18m. What is 12m minus 18m? Well, now what? Subtract 12 from both sides, and what do you get? We have 6m, we have 6. Why would the left side be negative? Oh, thank you. I missed it.
Wait, what is the right side?
So what if m is negative?
Oh, never mind.
And then you divide it by 2. So m will be 12.
How is m 12?
Really? Good. You have to make it equal.
Mm-hmm. You do. But how is m 12?
Oh, never mind. It isn't. It is actually. It is not 12. It is 18.
How is it 18?
Okay. We gotta add the 6 on both sides.
Why do you have to add 6?
This is the opposite.
Well, where's the subtraction?
Only that's not negative. Oh wait, you have to divide.
There we go. This is why I have you follow this. That you did. So what operation do you guys see? Multiplication. What's the inverse? What are we going to divide by? 6 or negative 6? Negative 6. So m is equal to what? Negative 1. Yes, except for I'll admit I am extremely tired and I have a headache. I'm going to do this right now. I'm sorry. I'm horrible. Plus, I want to get you to the point of the new stuff.
This is basically the same stuff every day.
Yes, it is.
But it takes longer.
So, Omen, what's the difference between this problem here and the one I showed you yesterday? Or 2 days ago?
Oh, I got it.
The difference is this one you have to distribute. That's the biggest difference so far. Go back to your teacher page. We're gonna do this problem.
Oh yeah, I love problems. No, look at this.
Oops. This is a plus sign.
Oh.
I wrote it wrong. I had to cover it. That's a plus sign. So it's 3 times y minus 5 plus 25 equals 3y plus 10. What's the first thing I want you to do? Draw the river. Now the biggest difference between this and the last lesson we did was it has parentheses. You have variables on both sides with the parentheses, so what do we have to do? Let's distribute. What is 3 times y?
3y.
Minus, what is 3 times 5? Plus the 25. And then we have 3y plus 10.
How many don't speak too early?
Is it?
So hard for you.
Yeah, so far because I'm making you do something you've already done.
Yeah, and this is gonna be
I am taking everything we've already done and combining it into one big problem. So,
Okay, so you basically subtract 25.
yeah, we do. So what are we going to do?
We're gonna subtract 25.
Watch. You see that subtraction?
I already see what this is.
You see the subtraction?
It's an inverse.
It'd be plus.
Change it to adding a negative.
Oh, I know why.
Because it's a negative. We don't like the subtraction, everybody.
Okay, you have 2 options at this point. You can do what I just did. It does work. Both options will work. And then we'll take what is 25 plus, or sorry, what is negative 15 plus 25?
It's gonna end 3y.
What is negative 15 plus 25? Huh? What is it?
10. 40.
Boy,
We're
almond.
under. Oh my god, look at the boot.
Almond. Are you being serious?
Okay, yeah, it's because I was thinking positive.
So now we have 3y plus 10
And you subtract
and
by
3y plus 10. Well, now what?
You subtract by 10.
Why subtract 10? Where's your variable?
Both sides.
So what do you do?
Subtract.
What are we going to subtract from the right? We're subtracting 3y, so what do we do to the left?
You did it right.
Subtract 3y,
And then there's nothing.
and now it's 10 equals 10.
Wait a minute. Huh?
What's the
variable?
Exactly.
So the variable is 10.
So you know the vocab?
Yes, you.
This is not a null and empty set. Do you guys see the vocab?
Why isn't the variable?
This is an identity. The solution is identity. All numbers work. I don't care what number, if it's a whole number, an integer, a fraction, or a decimal. You pick any number for x, it is always going to work.
Can we start a whole?
No, we're not even done. Identity is when you have no variables and the constants are always equal. Is 10 always going to equal 10? Every single time. You will never convince me or anyone else who knows their math that 10 does not equal 10.
So what is 10 equal?
Oh, we're supposed to be
You
doing
will
this
never
on
convince me that it doesn't.
the-
It will always equal
student
10.
page.
So what's 5 equal?
Oh,
5 will always equal 5.
we're supposed to do this on the teacher page.
Okay? I have one more to show you.
Stop
It's talking.
Yeah, young man. Is that 5 minutes?
Yeah, so I get to do login Tuesday in a moment.
You've been roasted.
I did my card.
So that too.
X. Yes, I keep writing wrong things. That's next. Negative 5x minus 14 is equal to 2 times the sum of 2x plus 3 minus 9x. Ooh. What's the first thing I want you guys to do? Draw the river.
It's negative. A left liver.
What?
I'll let your mom know that you want liver for supper.
You want
I'll let
chicken
your
liver?
mom know that you want liver for supper.
What's
Hi.
going on?
It's fish bait.
I'm already eating cheesecake for lunch.
Really? I already had cheesecake for lunch. Got you.
I like cheesecake.
We ate cheesecake for lunch?
I did.
What? I couldn't even. I was at the nurse. I couldn't even eat anything. I only ate for like 12 minutes.
Dad says he twisted his legs.
You fell off the chair.
How?
What's your next step in solving it? But we can't subtract because the one on the right, there's two of them, and there's one in parentheses. So we need to distribute. So what is 2 times 2x? What is 2 times 3? Now what are you going to do? Okay, hold up. Put your hand, let me see. I think we have commercial going on. Alexis? Hey, Max, I suggest you pay attention. I'm sorry, one more time. You guys want to take 4x minus 9x? They're both on the right-hand side.
No.
You can do that.
Oh yeah,
That is one possibility.
So it'd be oh negative 5x.
What is 4x minus 9x?
Negative 5x plus 6. Wait, what? 4x? Oh.
I should not be writing, but I can't. I didn't even write. Hey, Omen. Omen! Now what?
You subtract 6.
Don't subtract.
You add 1.
Get the variable to the left. Is the variable to the left? No, so how do we get rid of this negative 5x? You don't subtract it and you don't divide it. Add 5x to both sides. Because you're getting into the other side. No, the last time when you said to add, it was you weren't trying to move the variable, you were trying to get it by itself. Now we're trying to move the variable. Okay, so cancels out. What's left on the left-hand side? What's left on the right-hand side?
Negative 4.6.
Is that true?
No, it's not true. It's not no.
What this one means is I don't care what number you choose, it will never work out. You can pick any number for the value of x, And you will never make those two sides equal.
Whoa.
That's like my classes. Okay, if I decide to give each student 3 pieces of candy, I will never be able to buy the same amount of candy for my second block, or not my second, for my, let's do my 4th block to my 6th block. My 4th block, I have 10 students.
Exactly.
If I want to buy 3 pieces of candy for 10 students, how many do I need?
30.
30. What about my 6th block?
No, you don't know.
I have 13 students. I have 13 students.
36.
So I need 39. What if I decide to change it and I want to buy just 1 piece of candy for each? How much do I need for my 4th block? 10. How much do I need for my 6th block?
13.
Are those the same amounts?
Yeah.
So I try to change it again and I'm going to buy 5 pieces for each student. How much do I need in my 4th block?
50.
How much do I need for my 6th block?
65.
65. No matter what value I choose, they will never be equal. So here's what you do. When you have these, you solve. Guys, listen. I don't know if these teachers have changed their minds, but I have always had my students move the variable to the left first. I don't care what the constants are, I always want you to try to get the variables together on the left very first. Because if your variables cancel out, it tells you if it's an empty set or not. Or if it's a null set. Or if it's an identity set. Okay? So, go to your student page. Let's see if I can write this problem down correctly. Huh? First thing I ask you guys to do. Draw the river. Then what? Distribute. What is -2 times 3r? -6r. Plus, what is -2 times 4? What's on the other side? -5r minus 8 minus r. Okay, look on the left-hand side. Can you combine those?
No.
No, do not combine those. You combine those, I'm going to get that nasty bottle that's sitting over there that hasn't been opened for a while, so it will spray and it will stink. Now look at the right-hand side. Can you combine any of those?
No. Yes.
What can you combine?
No. Yeah.
Do those have the same variable? Combine them. What is -5r plus a -r? Not identity. Oh wait, yeah. Sorry. Wait, who said identity? Bradley. Why'd you say identity? What does this say? -6r plus -8. -6r minus 8.
Oh.
Are those the same thing?
Yes.
Do they mean the exact same thing?
Yes.
Right here, you can stop. I won't even make you subtract the variables. Is it the same thing?
Yeah. No.
What word do you write down if it is the same thing?
Identity.
Which numbers work for this one?
Any, all of them, whatever. Doesn't matter. I could even be
Do we do checks?
No.
If you get identity
You don't.
or you get a null or an empty set, no check. Because identity means you would have to check every single number. That's never ending. So no. A null set, an empty one, you'd have to check every single number to make sure it didn't work. That's a lot. So if you get an identity or an empty, don't check it. Okay? All right, let's try another one. If you get an identity, do not check it. So now we have this one. What's the first thing I want you to do? Draw over.
Is this still on the teacher page?
I'm on student page.
No, I mean student page.
Now what? Distribute what? How what? What is 4 times 8?
32. Oh, 32.
Plus, what is 4 times 2w? So now we have 14 plus 8w equals 32 plus 8w. Now what?
You subtract 8.
Subtract 8w from both sides. Those cancel out, and we have 14 equals 32.
No.
That's a null.
So it doesn't work. So it's null or empty, which means which numbers work.
Every single one of them not.
Okay.
So what identity also work with like thousands? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So basically identity means like two classes of 10.
Yeah.
Getting the same.
Yeah.
Group.
That's exactly what that means. That's like saying that I am going to take my TA to the movies. I'll pay for my TA to get movies and snacks. They get movies and popcorn. And then I'm going to take my 6th block to go to the movies and popcorn. I have 13 in each class. Does that change how much I have to pay? No. It would cost me the exact same amount to take my TAs it would take me to take you guys because I have the exact same amount of students. Okay. Any questions on that? But I have one more to show you.
Next we do a homework.
Oh, maybe. I want to make sure I give you the hardest one of this exam.
Is there fractions?
Oh, I'm not doing. You guys can do fractions.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can. I don't care if you like it or hate it. I said you can do it.
Is that a Z?
Oh. No, it's not a Z.
Oh, it's less than.
No, not less than. There you go. Does that look better?
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't pick up my pen enough. All right. Isn't this just like our equations? The only difference is you can't get empty and null and identity on this. Or you shouldn't be able to because it's an inequality. Okay, so what's the first thing I want you to do? Draw the river. Then what?
Variables on the book.
It's on both sides, so we have to.
Distributive.
We want to get it to the right, but can we get it to the right, Alberto? Can we move this A over yet?
No.
No, first we gotta do what? Distribute. These parentheses, remember, Alberto, remember, with the parentheses right there. It's blocking the 4 from the A, you have to distribute. What is 4 times A?
4.
Minus, what is 4 times 3?
12.
Now what? Now, Alberto, how do you get the variable to one side? Subtract what?
4A.
Variable. What's your variable? What is your variable then? A. So how are we going to move this A over here? Subtract 4A. That's a positive 4A, so take it away. Subtract. What is everybody? 5A minus 4A?
1A.
You can put 1A or you can put A. On this side, is it a positive or negative 12? Negative. Keep that subtraction as a negative. Now what? You add 12. Where's your variable? On the left, so look at the left. If it's only on the left, that's the only side you need to look at. What operation do you see? What's the inverse? What number? A does not equal negative 4. Greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay? I'm going to give you a lot of practice right now. Are you guys ready to practice your homework?
Wait, you can't practice with
Okay. Tony, are you ready to do your homework?
All right. Yeah.
Page 377.
What's my favorite number?
I need four.
How'd you know what was my favorite number? That's my favorite
So
number.
that means I need to give you that many problems, 377?
Like 377 has 377 problems on it. Get it done, yeah.
Okay, guys, you heard that. His favorite number is 377. So you guys are going to get 377 problems.
Let's get it, everybody.
Max said to.
I'm just kidding.
My favorite number is 2.
Yeah.
200?
Yeah, I can keep adding to it. That's fine.
I think he said 200.
Oh my gosh, the car. Go back and say no.
Man, you guys just want me to keep adding. That's fine.
You gotta be quiet.
Where?
Wait. Tony, quit dancing.
Joe's way.
Good.
Jonesy.
Stop it. Tony, sit down.
This guy's Russian.
How many more should I go?
Okay.
You guys don't want to stop talking? Can I keep going?
No,
Can I? I'll keep adding to it. Start working.
Yes, only